I think that I see where you're trying to go.
No. You don't need to think anything. I'm asking you, will you make a negative generalization about another racial or ethnic group?
I'm not going to be baited into.
I'm not baiting you. I'm asking you a sincere question. Will you or won't you?
Here is.
Oh, the answer's no. Why? Well, the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs is offering students credit if they create a series of, quote, witnessing whiteness workshops in their hometowns. The program is offered by the school's graduate certificate program in diversity, social justice, and inclusion. That's, of course, a department name that should strike fear into all who hear it, and for good reason, because, among other things, the program focuses on the alleged traits of the, quote, dominant white culture. These traits include, quote, superficiality and, quote, extreme exploitation of labor and resources for profit. David Bernstein is the founder of the group Run for America. He wrote the book Fast Future, How the Millennial Generation is Shaping Our World. David, thanks for coming on.
Good to be with you, Tucker.
You a little surprised that racist crap like this exists in the open in 2018?
Well, I don't know that I would necessarily call this racist crap, but I think the reality is that there is a white experience in America that is different from a black experience in America. I think anybody who's lived in America knows that those two things are different things. And, you know, while I don't necessarily agree with every way that these folks are going about it, I think it is the beginning of perhaps a conversation about what does it actually mean to have a white experience. We've been studying the black experience in America.
It's not the beginning of a conversation. It's the beginning of a series of attacks on people on the basis of their skin color. So to say that white culture exploits in an unusually aggressive way the labor of others, that's an attack. And by the way, is it true? I mean, is white culture more likely to do that than, I don't know, Chinese culture? I don't know, but I know racism, textbook definition when I see it, and that's lumping a group of people together on the basis of their appearance and immutable characteristics and attacking them. That's what this is. Why is this not racist?
Well, I think the way in which it is presented certainly is not the direction that you want to go if you want to actually do what I think really should be done, which is actually have a conversation about what white privilege actually means in this society. You and I both know, as white men sitting here, that there is such a thing as white privilege.
I don't know that actually. I mean, there are non-white immigrant groups that have, on average, higher annual incomes than average white Americans. It's much more complicated than you and other sort of glib apologists for racism suggest that it is. You can't generalize about people on the basis of their skin tone, right? Of course you can't. Or can you?
Of course you can't. You can't generalize. But there are trends that we have seen. It would be disingenuous for us to suggest that there aren't a larger number of, say, white people than black people in this country who have benefited tremendously from their privilege. I think that would be a disingenuous statement over time, and that there are more white people who have exploited.
I don't know. I mean, wait, hold on. Stop. Are you comfortable making generalizations about other racial and ethnic groups that are negative? Any generalizations? Go ahead and try one. You just said that white privilege is real. No, I'm serious. If we're going to have the honest conversation that you're calling for, then I call on you to be honest and make a negative generalization about any other racial or ethnic group in this country. Go ahead. You got the floor.
I see where you're trying to go.
No. You don't need to think anything. I'm asking you, will you make a negative generalization about another racial or ethnic group?
I'm not going to be baited into.
I'm not baiting you. I'm asking you a sincere question. Will you or won't you?
Here is.
Oh, the answer's no. Why?
Because, Tucker, the reality is when we try and talk about and understand things that are going on, whether they're generations, whether they're groups of people, we make generalizations in order to have a conversation, because, of course, every single individual person is different. But you won't make a generalization except about, well, no, hold on. I'm inviting you to make a negative generalization, as you just did about one group, about any other group. There are many groups in this country. And you say sometimes we generalize. I get it. You want to have an honest conversation. I get it. Let's do that right now on live TV. Again, why don't you make a single negative generalization about any other racial or ethnic group? And again, I give you the floor. I'll be quiet as you speak. Go ahead and do that. Well, look, I think there's a claim that can be made about the fact that there now in this country we have people who are benefiting tremendously from a huge move towards diversity and inclusion, quote unquote, programs that are designed to prioritize people of other ethnicities.
Which people?
Over people.
I mean, be a lot more specific. No, make a generalization about a culture,
Latino,
another race.
African American and Latino people over white people.
Be precise. So, no, you're critiquing a program. That's a program that you're critiquing, and I think you're right. Critique the culture, as you just did white culture, whatever that is. But you're assuming it's real, so tell me, generalize about another racial ethnic group's culture.
Tucker, I think you're missing an important distinction here. I think you're missing an important distinction.
You're missing the important distinction. Which is this only goes in one direction, and you bully people by making generalizations that are not strictly speaking true. And if you're not, on board with it, you're a racist, and then you get to attack those people. Because that doesn't apply to any other group, which is itself racist. Will you acknowledge that?
I see where you're going with this argument, Tucker, but I think the reality is that
that's the argument. I just said it out loud.
There's a group of people who have been systemically oppressed in this country for a long period of time. And those are people who are overwhelmingly people who are African American and Latino. There's a long history of this. You and I both took U.S. history courses.
You're changing the conversation. What you did was you said it was okay to attack one culture, but it's not okay to attack other cultures. And I'm asking you why that is. An 18-year-old college student did not participate in Jim Crow, did not participate in slavery, is not most of the time knowingly participating in the oppression of anybody, but it's okay to attack that person because his ancestors did something bad, but that's not okay to do to other groups because why? You don't have an answer.
Look,
no one ever calls you guys on this, but I just did.
I think you're really missing the point here, which is that saying if you just because you want to say that someone is being criticized for the basis of what a culture is doing, that's racist.
No.
Collective
race guilt is wrong. It's racist to attack people for things they didn't do because of the way they look. It's really simple. You're on board with it. I'm not.